Hello, Dr. Mascara and fellow colleagues. My name is Guido, and today I'll be introducing the concept of sustainable investing. In specific, I will explore and demonstrate how green bonds are increasingly becoming more prevalent in the world of investments. Before jumping into green bonds, I will briefly discuss climate change, and I will then present the evidence surrounding climate change and address the controversial question of whether or not climate change is a hoax. The emphasis and core of this presentation will explore one such solution, and that is green bonds. In the spirit of simplicity and timeliness, I will touch base with the what, why, how, where, and when of green bonds. Is climate change a hoax? Without going too much in depth, I have comprised a list demonstrating that climate change is in fact real. There is an overwhelming consensus in the scientific community that has agreed that climate change is not a hoax. For instance, sea level rise. Sea level has risen about 6.7 inches in the last century, while global temperature has seen 15 of the 16 warmest years on record occurring since 2001. Here we find evidence that atmospheric carbon dioxide has increased exponentially since the Industrial Revolution. The world has responded. At the micro level, awareness has increased recycling efforts and made people more conscious to conserving and using less energy. The question is, what can be done at the investment level? What are green bonds? Green bonds are revolutionizing investing. They are investments in long-term growth projects, and they advocate for a sustainable environment. Green bonds also offer desirable returns for investors, establish efficient operations, and implement favorable long-term cost. What are some of the aspects of green projects, you may ask? They are projects geared toward low-carbon activities, renewable processes or technologies, and above all, they need to be efficient. Here we find a simplified flowchart demonstrating the process of how green bonds come into existence. They mirror traditional bonds. However, I want to emphasize that with green bonds, we need to make sure that they are on track with what they were initially intended to do. Why invest in green bonds? Well, as previously demonstrated, the justification is there. Green bonds can support the financing of projects that mitigate and adapt the effects of climate change. Equally important is the fact that the population is growing and we need to help meet the demand of this growth. By investing in green bonds, we can create a pathway towards the development of low-carbon projects around the world. Looking at the how aspect of green bonds. Investing in low-carbon, renewable, and clean technologies can all make a real difference. Clean technology investments, such as sustainable transportation, will help reduce emissions while simultaneously promoting efficiency. Projects and initiatives that focus on resourcefulness will extend current resources. This is important as we live in a limited resource planet. As you may have guessed, climate change is a global phenomenon. Perhaps one of the biggest proponents of green bonds is the World Bank, who have issued 9.7 billion equivalents in green bonds through more than 125 transactions in 18 currencies. To address the question of when, if you appreciate the gravity and magnitude of climate change, then you would understand when I say that time is of the essence. As presented, climate awareness bonds are smart, impactful, and powerful investments that can combat and mitigate the effects of climate change. Although climate change cannot be reversed or rewritten, we collectively can look forward to the future by investing in the present. Just a few months ago, Poland became the first sovereign green bond issuer with a modest 750 million euros. This is important because previously green bonds have only been issued by companies or finance institutions such as the World Bank. Even more recently, France issued a $7.5 billion green bond with a 1.75 coupon rate and maturity date of 22 years. In conclusion, alternative facts are not facts. We can state with precision that climate change is not a hoax. Policy is equally instrumental and influential in the climate change resolve. Scott Pruitt was nominated by President Trump and has stated that humans despite the evidence showing otherwise, do not primarily cause climate change. Green bonds are unique in that they only finance eco-friendly projects. Investors are rightfully looking towards the future. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them on Blackboard. Thank you for your time.